This is the build instructions for Coglet prototype B34. Now if all goes to plan with this project, I'm going to have a successful Kickstarter launch, and there'll be a new version releasing in maybe 6 months' time. In the meantime, there's lots of little tweaks and things I'd like to change, and if you do spot anything that you think could be improved, let me know on my Discord server. But for the meantime, let's get into the build instructions for this Coglet prototype. Start by breaking off the extra bits on the board, gently but firmly, and then we're going to start by programming the RP2040, which is the easier of the two microcontrollers. Now this port is quite tight, so you will need a slim USB-C, and that's going to be one of the first things I change on the next version. You should see this folder pop up straight away. What you're going to do is go to the MicroPython website, and you're going to download the MicroPython firmware. So we go to the download section, we Control F, and we look for Pico, not that one, that's the one, and just download the latest version. You can then take that file and drop it directly into the folder that popped up, and that will install it on your RP2040. Once it's finished copying, the window should disappear, and that's a good sign that everything worked. So now you're going to open Thonny. If you haven't used it before, it's very simple to use. The only setup you'll really need to do is make sure that the interpreter is selected as MicroPython Raspberry Pi Pico, and then on the bottom right hand corner you should see, with your board plugged in, MicroPython Raspberry Pi Pico and a COM number, which is the port that it's plugged into. And now we're going to go to the root of the download pack. We're going to go to Coglet ESP, RP2040, and then we're going to open all 4 of these files individually. So that's main.py, serverclass.py, comms.py, and animation.py. And now each one of these we're going to save individually to the microcontroller. So we're going to go File, Save As, Raspberry Pi Pico, and then we're going to type main.py and make sure all of these are spelled exactly the same as they say on the download. So that's serverclass.py. Doesn't matter which order you do these in, just as long as all 4 are on the microcontroller. It's comms.py and animation.py. If we want to test that it works, one quick test to do is just to run the main script and see that we get initializing, staggered, stable, wake up, and startup complete. So that was pretty easy. The ESP is the next thing to program, and it's a bit more complicated. So you might find you're having this issue where your PC beeps continuously. So to do that, you hold down the boot switch, press the reset switch, and then release the boot switch, and that should stop the beeping. Then you're going to download the ESP IDF, not my favorite acronym. You're going to go to the Espressif website, you're going to scroll down to the Windows installer download, and my project is using version 5.5, so I recommend you also use that, and I haven't tested it with any other version. So download and install that. It should be fairly straightforward, but if you're having any issues, do check in my project repository. There's a full comprehensive guide in the translated docs. And then once it's installed, launch the ESP IDF PowerShell. So I'm going to go fairly quickly through this, but if you need more help, do refer to the docs, the translated docs in the project repo. So first of all, you're going to CD into the project repository, so find it in your file system. I recommend starting with the default version, which doesn't use the camera on the ESP. So for that, the directory will just be the root of the Coglet ESP folder. If you want to use the camera, we'll have to download a branch of the Coglet ESP project, which is called camera version. So once you've found your file path, you're going to type cd and then in quotation marks paste the directory. Next, you're going to type idf.py and then a space and then build, and that's going to gather all the different parts for your project. It might take a bit longer if you're running it for the first time. And then you're going to type in idf.py menu config, all one word. You're going to get this BIOS looking menu, and you need to go first of all into Xiaozhi Assistant. You want to make sure that everything looks the same as mine. It should do, but you just want to check. So the board type will be this bread compact Wi-Fi plus LCD plus camera. The LCD type doesn't matter. The wake word is something I haven't actually looked into extensively, but if you want to change the wake word, it will be there. And then look in the camera settings, nothing to change in the camera configuration. Now, if you were doing the default non-camera version, you can save and exit. Otherwise, you need to go into component config, Espressif camera sensors configuration, and go and make sure that OV3660 is checked, because that's the type of camera that we're going to use. And you also want to check that the format is set to YUV422. Again, all of these should be by default what I've already said, but if you're having weird issues and you don't know why, this is a good place to check. There's also more settings about wake word. Again, I haven't experimented extensively with this, but it should be very easy to change the wake word. I just recommend you check the Xiaozhi AI docs, which I've uploaded in my repo. So now you want to find out which serial port your Cognog is using. So you're going to open up the device manager and you should see 2 USB serial devices with consecutive numbers. Now the next version I'm sure will just have 1, but for now you're going to pick the smaller number of the 2. So in this case it's COM6. And you're going to type idf.py-p and then the port which you're using, COM6 in my case, and then you're going to type build flash monitor, and that's probably going to take a really long time. So once it finishes, you can unplug your PCB, you can plug in the speaker because you'll need to hear the audio, and then you can plug the USB back into your PC, and you should hear it say entering the Wi-Fi configuration mode.
Enter the Wi-Fi configuration mode.
So now what you need to do is go on your phone or PC and connect to the Wi-Fi network which the board itself makes, which will be called Xiaozhi numbers and letters. So then you can just enter the SSID and the password and it should connect straight away. The next thing it will do is it will speak out loud a 6-digit code. So what you need to do is go to the Xiaozhi dashboard, which is just xiaozhi.me. You want to create an account or log in, and then once you're in, you want to add a new device and type in the 6-digit code that your board spoke out loud. And if you forget the code, you can just unplug it and plug it back in and it will say it out loud again. And if you're having any trouble with any of this, you can go back into the IDF PowerShell. You can type in idf.py-p, your COM port, and then monitor, and you can see the output. So you can see any errors it's given you, and that will make it easier to troubleshoot. Now you can set up your assistant. You can type a name, you can enter a prompt and choose a voice. There's loads of different things you can do here, and it's all pretty straightforward and self-explanatory. And you also don't have to do this now. You can finish the build and come back to this. All you need to do is whenever you make a change, you click save and then restart the board. Next, we're going to program our Grove AI vision module by connecting the small strip of the camera to the small side of the adapter and the large strip to the large side of the adapter, and then plugging that large strip into the Grove module and making sure all of the contacts are face down. Then we're going to go to the SenseCraft website. I always get lost on this website, but if you go explore more pre-trained models, select a model, you go to the workspace, then you hit connect and you select your device from the top left. You should be able to see your camera feed. So then if you hit deploy model, let it flash, and that's all you really need to do. You may also want to play around with the confidence threshold because that will depend quite a lot on your lighting conditions and your distance from the camera, so have a play with that if you feel like it. Now at last we can begin soldering. So first of all, we're going to make sure that we have both rows of header pins for the Grove Vision AI module. And now if you want to use the camera for the ESP32 to do image recognition, you need to adjust some of the pins. And this is something which will obviously change when I get the next version after the Kickstarter. So if you are going to do that, you need to rewire the following pins. So on the ESP, pin 35 will go to 14, pin 36 will go to 41, and pin 37 will go to 42. Again, you don't need to do any of this if you're just going to go with default settings and not use 2 cameras on Coglet. The Grove Vision AI and face tracking and following will all work fine without any modifications. Next, we're going to make the microphone. So you're going to use this microphone module and you're going to wire it to use a Pico Blade 6-pin plug. So you want to tin the ends of all 6 of your wires, and then you want to push them through the back of the microphone, and obviously making sure that the little hole in the front, which is where the microphone picks up sound, making sure that that is the side which is clear of obstructions. And you can check the wiring on Cognog. The text is very small, but it is there. So just make sure that your connector is the correct way around and everything is wired into the right place. And then I like to add a little dab of hot glue to make sure that all the wires stay still and don't short each other. If the Kickstarter does well, we'll of course have a pre-soldered mic. The speaker, of course, is really easy to plug in. That comes pre-wired. And then to make the power supply, you're going to take a USB. You can use any type, but C is recommended because it's higher power. And you're going to wire it into a JST XH connector, making sure that the positive and the negative matches the positive and the negative on the board. And then one thing we can do to make our life easier later on is to use the base of Coglet and push the unsoldered wires through the base and that will mean that we don't have to disassemble it later on. So push it through and then solder it once it's through. Then we can connect up all the cameras, so this should be all pretty straightforward and you should be able to figure it out just by looking at it. So first of all, you're going to plug in the Seed Grove Vision AI module. Make sure the USB side is facing the word USB on the board. You're going to plug that in, and then you're going to connect the wide strip into the bulky connector, and then that connector will connect to your camera. If you are brave to use the ESP camera, then that's the narrower strip which will go into the board. You will need to make sure that the contacts on the strip are not too long, because that can cause a short, and that is obviously a design flaw with my board. And then that will go into the small adapter, and that small adapter will go into the camera. Make sure with all of these things that the pins are facing down and you're not putting it in upside down. So now we can get onto the build, and you can start with this thin retaining ring, and we're going to fill each gap in the ring with one of these bearing rollers, and these just pop in really easily. If you get lost at any point during this build, I suggest you look at the 3D model I've included in the download pack, and you should be able to see how everything fits together. And this goes face down on the base, and you want to just check that this can run really smoothly. It should be very, very smooth. Next, you want to grab a servo, and you want to take the only gear, which is conical, and you want to screw that in. Now, while the board is powered with the USB you soldered earlier, you want to flick the smaller switch on the board to calibrate mode, and it'll begin flashing orange. And then you want to plug that servo into the first slot. Take the middle base ring component and clip the servo into there. You should find that there's only one orientation that it will fit in, and feed the wire through. And also feed through that USB power cable that you had plugged in earlier. Now you want to check the orientation here. The gear is on the right side, the hole is on the left, and the cable is coming down at the bottom. So you can put this on top of the roller bearing, make sure there's enough slack on the wire, and then we're going to put in this retaining part. So put your screws in first, it'll make it a bit easier. You want to rotate it in counterclockwise so that the gap is centered around where the wire comes out, and then just tighten up those screws. So the whole thing should only have a tiny bit of wiggle room. Now we're going to attach the board, and you want to check that the area of the base with the most free space is the one that lines up with the switches and buttons on the PCB. It's hard to get this wrong once it's in. There's only actually one way that the screws will go in on the board. Look closely at this pinch point and make sure that the servo wire and power wire aren't being pinched by the underside of those pins. And then plug your servo back into the first slot. You can route the power cable underneath the Grove AI module and into the JST connector. Next, you want to take the top part of the base, tuck through the servo wire, and you want to feel around to see how it locates onto the part beneath it. You can put your screws in to hold it down. And then you want to connect another servo to the next slot, which is number 2. And on this servo, you want to put the widest, fattest gear. Secure that with a screw. And then you want to clip it down to the base. Now, all of these servos are a really tight fit. Now, put the speaker in the speaker slot and secure that with 2 screws. And then the mic goes next to it and doesn't need any screws, it just sits there. So now you want to add another servo to the 3rd slot, and you want to put on the smallest gear and secure that with a screw. Now you want to assemble this part. This way is the wrong way, this way is the correct way. Clip that in and check that it looks the same. And then this part clips to the bottom of the head, and it acts as the neck pitch pivot. You need to squeeze your servo in here, and this is probably the tightest and most fiddly part of the build. So you want to work your way up into the neck, and if you keep working at it, eventually it will clip in with a satisfying snap. Now this whole neck assembly can go and clip onto the base, and this joint which you're clipping in now forms the roll axis of the neck. Next, you want to add 2 servos for the eyes in the left and right eye positions. These just drop down through the gaps and clip into place. And And these servos don't go on the next available slot, they skip a slot and they go in the next one after that. So the left one goes first and then the right one, and that's relative to Coglet's left and Coglet's right. So now you want to attach the gears to these servos. Again, they have a left and right, and they just pop on and you screw them in. Next, you want to take your eyeballs and you want to make sure that the gap side is facing downwards. And then you can put in, first of all, your right side camera, your ESP camera if you're using that one, making sure that the wire comes out downwards. And you hold that in with the right side eye gear adapter. And then at this point, we can also add these horseshoe kind of components, and these are the eye pivot points. When you clip these on, I found that it works better if you align the part that you had on the build surface upwards. And then with the left eye, you can put in the eye gear adapter and you can clip that on to the horseshoe part that we just put in, making sure both of the eyes are straight. Next, we want to take a new servo and put on the mouth gear. It says mouth on it clearly, and we want to put that at the back, not this way around, that way around, not this way around, that way around. So the gear is towards the center of the head, and this mouth servo plugs into the final slot on the board. Next, you can wrap the mouth over the top of the gear that you just put in, making sure it's all the way to the bottom, and you can use this little tiny screw component with a long flathead screwdriver, and you can tighten that in to make the pivot point for the mouth. Now you want to go until you feel some resistance, but don't go too tight, just until you feel a little bit of resistance. Next, we can do the eyelids, so you want to make sure the gears are pointing downwards, and then you can clip it in at this point between the eyes first of all, and then once it's in between the eyes, you can hook in either side of the eyeballs and line up the lids with the top of the irises. Now for the top of the head, so we want to take the lid gear, and we want to attach that to a servo, plug the servo into the PCB, and attach that servo to the top of the head. It clips in. Make sure that this wire is on the inside, and then you can clip in the whole top assembly starting with the back and then move into the middle and the front. This is a pretty tight snap fit, but if you need to undo it, you can do so with a flathead screwdriver. Now there's two types of ears, a short one and a long one. For this demo, we're going to use the long one, and then, so for the ears, we take a servo, there's a left and a right gear, pay attention to the L and the R on there, and then screw them in, both the left and the right, and then with them plugged into the PCB, you can attach them to the very top of the head. Again, all of these servo fits are pretty tight, and that's just because we keep changing servo supplier. So now we can put the ears in place, and they just pop on to those cones. There's no particular angle that these need to be at. I would say just roughly try to match the one I'm showing in the video, and then you have these little retaining components which go over the top of the ears and hold them in place while allowing them to rotate. So now we can put on the shell. You can do this in any order really, but I like to do the face first, push that down over the mouth, screw it in, and then you can do the back of the head, making sure to keep all the wires nice and secure. You can do the ears. There is a left and a right here. I don't know which is which. I just get a feel for it. And then the belly, screw it in, and the back. This one's a little bit awkward because of all the wires. And then he should be ready. So the default wake word is Ni hao xiao zhi.
Ni hao xiao zhi.
Hi there. How's your day going?
So I hope that this worked out for you. I would say the number one problem if you're having any issues is internet connection. Having a poor connection to the Wi-Fi will definitely make it not work as well. And the second one is power. You need to make sure that you have a good, high quality, ideally 3 amp power supply to give Coglet all the power he needs. And if you're stuck for power or Wi-Fi, you can also add some capacitors. You can add a big 1000 microfarad capacitor on the power input, and you can also add a little 100 microfarad capacitor directly on the ESP power input, and that does seem to help a little bit too.